friends of mine have never played such a beautiful stage. I can't find the stage door or a guitar chord. My mind's a blank, can't picture the page. It's all going wrong. It's all going wrong. It's all going wrong. I open my mouth and nothing comes out. I trip the rug, fall flat on my face. The lights are all on me. Can't think of the song to sing. Never seen such a beautiful place. It's all going wrong. It's all going wrong. It's all going wrong. I'm sure I don't know what it means. Doctor, come quickly, explain it to me. How nothing is ever as it seems. Not even at the show. Not even at the show of my dreams. Not even at the show of my dreams. Not even at the show of my dreams. Not even at the show. To get here, now I'm here, but I'm not here yet. I know that's my cue, I just don't know what I do. But stand here like an idiot. It's all going wrong. It's all going wrong. It's all going wrong. Sure, I don't know what it means. Doctor, come quickly, explain it to me. How nothing is ever as it seems. Not even at the show. Not even at the show of my dreams. Not even at the show of my dreams. Not even at the show my dreams, not even at the show, 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 not even at the show. It sounds so good. Let's sneak peeks of the new record there that Brian Elijah Smith is producing for me. Almost done. We were in the middle of final mixes when we went into quarantine. It sucks. We'd be getting masters on this if it had happened a few days later. Just a few days later, and we'd be listening to the masters coming in. Good evening, good evening. You know, I was telling my wife the other night, I was like, you know, if Saturday Night Live had been worth their salt when we went under quarantine, they would have said, you know what,
some of them would have volunteered to quarantine together in the studio so they could be going live tonight. That's what the cast in the 70s would have done. I almost guarantee you. They would have said, well, we got to quarantine here. I mean, that's of course you quarantine. We got to quarantine. You'd have to. I don't know. Kids these days. Oh, kids these days. So, Come Over was sounding so good to me last night with the ideas we've had mixing it and the parts that have been sent in. That I'm very tempted. I might even be beyond tempted at this point to put up some more of my own songs for people to play to. I mean, do or don't. I mean, what do I have to lose by sticking them up there and seeing what parts I get? I do have these, like my friends have been teasing me about now for a little while. I've basically been in quarantine for years now. Since I quit touring and stuff, I very rarely leave the house. I spend all of my time here either hanging out with my wife, cooking some food, or down here making cartoons and writing songs and recording them. That's all I do. I share most of it. I don't share with the world, and what I do share with the world, I don't even do that great of a job at. I suck at the follow through on a lot of things. I just like making stuff, marketing it and distributing it. Not really the best. I get halfway through, like filling out all the forms to get stuff on iTunes and everything, and I'm just like, all of a sudden it asks me some question that stumps me, and I walk away, decide I'll go try to figure out how to make a risotto instead for a second, just to give myself a break, and then for some reason, the risotto makes me forget all about it, and I never return. And then a year later, I'm like, oh, right, I forgot to fill out that thing. Yeah, sorry, I'm not on Spotify. I am actually, though, because I worked with other people in the past that were really good at that for 20 years. So you can actually find me everywhere. Just nothing I've been up to since I've been in quarantine for the last however many years. Oh, look, I just got a notification on my iPad that Hippie Fiasco Rides Again has a new subscriber. I love it. Yes. Hey, Brian. Brian just signed on. I've decided as a rule to not really call out people, and by call out I mean in a positive way, but the people that you see that sign on that are just watching, I try to only call out the names of people that have commented, but I just got excited when I saw Brian because I was just chatting with him. He left his guitar here. He put it on the last song we recorded, and he came over to get stuff when we went under quarantine, and we were both so nervous that I just brought stuff out to him. And he's like, all right, my electric guitar's in there, and I'm like, I don't see it, and so he's outside. He takes the stuff I did bring out, but still can't find his guitar anywhere. And he asks again, will you look again? I looked again, I couldn't find it. And he's like, well, maybe it's in Northern Virginia. I don't know. I don't understand it. And I actually just found the poor little guy was like. He was just the poor guy was. Let me see if let me see how cool iCloud is. Well, I guess I could just do it old school. This is how I found the guy. Oh God, get it together. Oh. You can't see that. This is 2020. I'm being ridiculous. I could just go into my iPhotos. Oh, it's not updated yet though, because I just opened the app. All right. Well, maybe in 2021, this storytelling could have been seamless on the fly, but apparently you still got to be prepared for such things. Well, I found him like passed out, drunk, with marker written over its face behind the daggone upright bass and the bar stool. I mean, it was just down there, passed out, been there for weeks. It was just sad. And I sent him that picture, and Brian, immediately was like, oh man, feel free to play that thing or record it or something. And he was worried about it. It looked like it, sad. So then I took him out, at least out of the case, and put him here. I'm like, all right, now he's living like a rock star. Yeah. I'm like before he was looked like he was living like a drug addict. Now he's living like a rock star. And I'm like, really? They're only 2 feet apart. 2 versions. And we did a sneak peek there, Brian. The opening credits tonight was Show of My Dreams. I thought that was really fitting with last night's show. And the talk with Dad about performance anxiety, nightmares, and stuff. Had to do it, and it sounded so good in the cans. Usually I cut to the camera before the song's done, but with those mixes, I tend to just kick back and wait till the song's over to bring in the camera. Let's see, what harmonic is this? It's a G. So yeah, I'm thinking of the story I was telling before was the idea that Come Over was sounding so good, and I have tons of tracks of songs, that home recordings I've made, demos I've made of songs, and there's a part of me that wants to go through them and pick ones that I feel like are appropriate, like this one I just opened up. And I can trim them down to post on the internet for people to play along to. But I do have lots of songs that I think might fit. What does that say up there? Oh, and the winner is. I was like, what is written on my screen up there? It's like, that's when we played the trivia game. I still have the winner is stuff up there. Here's one I just opened up that I've played several times on the cast. It's pretty sparse still, but I could strip it down even more for people to have room to add stuff to. But I want to pick songs from my folders of old songs that are in some way or another appropriate for a quarantine album, of sort, a quarantine collection. And so this one, Used to Be a Ramblin' Man, takes on a little bit. Doesn't feel so personal anymore. It doesn't feel like I'm just getting old and stopped traveling and wow, wasn't that magic? And more like, and I don't know, maybe I haven't even really listened to it with these ears, but maybe in the new context of that all my traveling buddies are all grounded is well, maybe I don't know. I haven't listened to it in this new context to see if it really resonates different. But even just the title alone.
This isn't an illness. It's no strange disease. It's just stillness against a maddening breeze that carries those old songs, that's bending the trees. But I ain't going, I'm hunkered down on my knees. And it's hard, no one around here can understand. It's hard, see, I used to be a rambling man.
This was
signs
the
along the highway.
this was the original demo. So I've definitely then I tried recording it solo for a little solo collection I'm working on. But then I played it several times on the webcast, and it's already grown a lot since this original demo. But maybe it's still a good demo for putting on the website for people to play to, send their parts in.
Swore I'd never stray, but I ain't going. No, I'm going to stay, and it's hard. No one around here can understand.
I don't think it has a real bass on it.
It's hard.
Doesn't have much. I could take it all out too.
See, I used to be a rambling man.
See, I'm trying all kinds of stupid shit there to make that pop. But maybe, just going low is the idea. Used to be a rambling man. And then like some nice real, this is me being conductor orchestra in all by myself in the studio. And then the choir, I don't know. It's not, none of these sounds are right. They're all just sort of fingers pointing to constellations in the stars. Let's just kill all that. Looks like I think we can take that out. I think we can probably take everything out. Oh, except for this. This is this track is called The Horror, because I was down here late one night multitasking, and apparently on my Netflix app, when you just scroll, when the cursor just goes over the thumbnail, it plays a little preview in the thumbnail that you can both hear and see. It starts moving, and it just happened by accident that my mouse scrolled over this thumbnail right when I was working on this song at the right time, and I was like, what is that sound? Oh, that, I thought for a second, I was just like, because you always hear things in your head when you're recording. You're like, oh, I just heard what, but this was so loud. I was like, wait, what was that? And I realized it was the Netflix thing, but I didn't know which thumbnail it was. So I had to sit there and go over each thumbnail until I heard this sound again. And I guess The Horror was maybe the name of the show on Netflix. I just like that. The horror movie vibe and the creaking, rolling wagon wheels or whatever that is. I was like, oh man, this is just too perfect. So I had to route the audio from the browser that was holding my Netflix into the session because I then needed that sound in the song. Oh, memories.
This isn't an illness.
Wow, really?
It's no strain.
So what is it I muted? This says Glockenspiel, but it's just a MIDI part. I'm going to solo it, see what that is. Yeah, somebody could do that better for real. And 12 strings is what again? Maybe something low? That's folky, Nathan. That's some real roots for you there. Yeah, that's the bass in this song at the moment. That could go. We could live without that.
A maddening breeze that carries those old songs, that's bending the trees. But I ain't going. I'm hunkered down.
I hear that, knees. Douglas.
And it's hard. No one around here can understand. It's hard. See, I used to be a rambling man. There's signs along the highway, and then there's signs along the highway. Stay and read between the lines, and you're sure to find the way. God, I know that living that life, I swore I'd never stray.
You should do that, Eric.
But I
Yes.
ain't going. No,
For sure.
I'm going to stay.
There's that Netflix clip.
No one around here can understand. It's hard. You see, I used to be a rambling man.
Oh, I guess I could take the little harmonica part out for now. It's pleasant,
When you
though.
don't know where you're going or how you're getting there, you won't believe the magic that rises up out of thin air. And it's hard to find that in an old rocking chair. But I ain't going. I'm a really good stop for those that dare. And it's hard. No one around here can understand. It's hard. See, I used to be a rambling man. See, I used to be a rambling man.
I think I should go down. I think I should. I don't. Maybe I should redo the whole vocal. Man, that's what I should try right now. Try redoing the vocal. Go down. Ho down. Here we'll hide all this stuff. Man, I might just go ahead and save as in the quarantine folder. HFRA quarantine. Quarantine Logic Projects. Used to be a rambling man. HFQ. See, I know full well that means Hippie Fiasco Quarantine. Now, in 2 years, I'm going to be like, HFQ. HFQ. What was that? Hug friend quickly. And what would it? Oh, right. Hippie Fiasco Quarantine. I think it's going to the right spot. Copy all those little audio files over. Hey, Michael. Man, what a beautiful microphone you had in that picture today. And I must say, quite the stand to hold that thing. I tried to put the Peluso on here, and I couldn't. This little guy couldn't hold the weight. This microphone wins for being light enough. But boy, that was a good looking microphone you had there. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it looked like the picture that the guy shared from WKRP. That dude was using the same mic. It was close anyways. All right, I can't believe I'm about to try we'll just call it a scratch vocal so I won't get neurotic and try to, get prima donna. Like I'm recording the the vocal tonight. All right, everybody, I need things to be. I need a candle. I need a candle. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. No, we'll just call this a scratch vocal, even though I might do it more than once, which you don't usually do with a scratch vocal. But we'll just call it a scratch. It's no big deal. Just a little scratch vocal. Hey, 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 hey. Check, check, check. All right, nobody look at me. This is awkward. Scratch. Vocal. I'll probably forget the words. Whew. I mean, do I need a swig of whiskey? I just saw Andy Frasco get naked. I hope that people aren't coming here from that cast thinking, that he set the tone. I mean, it is Saturday night. I think I'm probably more weekday fare at this point anyways. But yeah, he did that. He got naked on Facebook for his bandmates, raising money for his bandmates. And he had a dance party going on. It was pretty good. Pretty awesome live streaming there from the Frasco household. It was awesome. And he did it. He got completely naked. All right. Going in. Talk amongst yourselves. Maybe I do. I don't know. Do I need like just a sip of? Well, we'll see. If it's not feeling any good, then I might need a sip of whiskey or something. I don't know. I don't know what I need. Scratch vocal. It's just a scratch vocal. God. This isn't. See, that's why I thought I might need the whiskey. It's cool. It's cool. As he takes another drag of his cigarette. This isn't an illness. It's no strange disease. It's just stillness against a maddening breeze that carries those old songs, that's bending the trees. But I ain't going. I'm hunkered down on my knees, and it's hard. No one around here can understand. It's hard. See, I used to be a rambling man. Doubted myself on the lyric. I got this. Man. There's signs along the highway. Then there's signs along the highway. Stay and read between the lines. You're sure to find the way. Gotta love that living, that life. I swore I'd never stray. But I ain't going. No, I'm going to stay. And it's hard. No one round here can understand. it's hard. See, I used to be a rambling man. When you don't know where you're going or how you're getting there, you won't believe the magic that rises right out of thin air. And it's hard to find that in an old rocking chair. I ain't go. Now I'm a really good stop for those that dare. And it's hard. No one around here can understand. It's hard. See, I used to be a rambling man. All right, I might not have nailed all the lines the way I would like or anything close, but I do have one question. There was only one lyric that I felt completely iffy on. I felt a little iffy on it, and we're talking nuts and bolts here. Every word has to be just right. There's a big difference between I love that living, that life. I swore I'd never. Sure to find the way. All right, that was the one. There's signs along the highway, and then there's signs along the highway. Stay and read between the lines, and you're sure to find your way, the way, a way. Sure to find the way. I sang the way, and immediately wondered if it should be your way. If you have a vote in the chat there, I will definitely tally the vote. You're sure to find the way, the way. That works. You're sure to find your way. Probably. Sure to find the way. Let's make these vocals sound a little sweeter while we're thinking. Go to your room. We'll send them to the reverb. I don't remember what I did in this demo, but it was probably... This isn't an illness. Yeah, a little sniffle into the microphone there for you. Probably good enough of a start. Let's see what this delay is like, though. Let's just create a new delay. I had this revelation recently about delay because I read so many books about this stuff, trying to learn how to record, and I'm not a natural at it. Like most things, I'm like Pete Rose. I just work really hard till I don't know, till I can sort of do it. I don't even know where that ends, but it definitely doesn't come natural to me. I don't just hear frequencies like, oh, that's 2K, like whatever. It took me years to even begin to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I bet that's 2K-ish, anywhere from like, I don't know, 1 to 4K. But so delay was always mystifying. I mean, compression's mystifying still. I'm starting to get it. Delays, it's all completely mystifying. It always will be a little bit, but I'm starting to learn how to have a little more fun with it, and I'm actually starting to learn that having fun with it is actually sort of the key. And it's taken me a really long time to begin to understand this. That like like I always wonder, like, well, okay, well, what should the delay be set to? And like for a little while, you're reading up, and they're like, oh, well, I put it at like, and they give you a number, and you're like, okay, you put it at that number, and you just do it because you figure that's what the pros do, and it's like it does some magical thing because like listen to that Tom Waits record. How do they make it? You don't know how to make it sound like that, do I? No, I have no idea how to make it sound like that. I guess you put the reverb at like 2.33895. And so you do that for a while. But then one day I was like, maybe I should just think maybe I should just move the numbers until I think it sounds cool. Which doesn't seem like that radical of a revelation, but the sky parted when I thought that for the first time. I was like, oh my God, maybe that's it. Do it till it sounds cool to me. I'm just gonna no strange disease. I'm gonna crank it up for now. It's just again, the mad, the carries those old that's bending the tree. But I ain't I'm hungry down on my knees, and it's hard. No one around here can stay. Of course, there's lots of things you can do with delay. You can just use the slap back to give it that sound, or you can give it sort of something that will bury down in there. More distance. It's hard. See, used to be a rambling man. It's no strange disease. It's just stillness against a maddening breeze that carries those old songs. It's bending the tree. But I ain't there you go. I'm hungry down on my knees, and it's hard. No one around here can stay. It's hold on. I'm nervous because people are watching. Single. Not too much feedback there. It's hard. This isn't illness. It's no strange disease. It's just still against the maddening breeze. The carries those old songs that's bending the trees. But I ain't going. I'm hungry down on my knees, and it's hard. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. This isn't an illness. It's no strange disease. It's just stillness against a maddening breeze that carries those old songs that's bending the trees. But I ain't going. I'm hunkered down on my knees, and it's hard.
no one around here can understand.
I like that, Shannon.
It's hard. See, I used to be a rambling man. There's signs along the highway, and then there's signs along the highway. Stay and read between the lines, and you're sure to find the way. Gotta love that living, that life I swore I'd never stray. But I ain't going, no, I'm going to stay. And it's hard, no one around here can understand. It's hard. See, I used to be a rambling man.
I guess I'll take the harmonicas out for the upload to the... Let somebody have some fun there. Oh, who will take the lead? Who will take the lead? It's a race. And it's not who gets there first.
When you don't know where you're going or how you're getting there, you won't believe the magic that rises right out of thin air. And it's hard to find that in an old rocking chair. But I ain't going. Now I'm a really good stop for those that dare. And it's hard, no one around here can understand. It's hard. See, I used to be a rambling man.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's the vocal or your vocal or what, but I think I like it better than what was there before. That's cool already. All right, I'm going to bounce this. And put it on the website. I wonder if I should take anything else out. Now, the thing I need to learn, I was studying this earlier today, is how to bounce it with the click track. I feel like I have to record the click track to a track first. Apparently, if I say show all, one of these jams down here. God, look at all that crap for such a... There's nothing going on in the song yet, but there's still all these tracks anyways. But one of these is maybe the click. Oh, wait. Do you have to enable it to see it? But I want... Oh, there it is. Click right there. So, man, I never even knew that existed. That's going to be so handy just to cut it up and down. But I still think I have to send this to another track and record it or something in order to bounce it, in order for it to be included in the bounce. But I want to be able to include the click in the bounce so I can bounce drumless versions of these songs. In case there's any beat makers or drummers out there that want to play along and don't know what to do downloading these tracks that already have drum parts. But I'm on it. I'm on the case. Oh, wait. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. I thought y'all were seeing the screen when I did all that. For you geeks out there that are taking some logic notes watching this webcast, completely understandable activity from one geek to another. Just in case I was creating whatever color would be right for Blue Ball's metaphor for geek knowledge. I was showing the mixing board and I hit show all right here. And then the click came up. That's the click channel right there. But I'm going to have to send it to another output and record it and do all this stuff. I guess I can't do that on the webcast, or can I? Can I? So I haven't decided, on ultimately what the format of the webcast should be. Hippie Fiasco Rides Again was 24/7, dog. 24/7. That's part of our edge. It's part of our ethos, or whatever the word is. It's part of us. The idea that we just do what we do. And while interacting with the world, of course, we were touring, we were on the road, so it had that, but we also made the record on the webcast. So that is part of the thing that I know is fun. You can just sort of hang out for hours. People stop in, spontaneous things happen. Next thing you know, it's not just a show where I'm on for an hour, and then it's over. It's just a different vibe. Whether I sit here and mix this thing for the next hour, trying experiments, getting that delay right, or bounce the click. I could get this stuff on the website. I could upload it I could do all this right now. What a great use of my time. I'm providing a place for people to hang out. I'm getting stuff done. It's for the cause. It's tough. It's tough stuff. Deciding what my role should be in this incarnation of Hippie Fiasco Rides Again. Well, if you're a drummer, though, the only person that's really going to want the click track with the track they download is for the drummer. It's not going to be in anything but the drummerless takes for drummers to play to. And they're going to want to hear the click, probably. I know once you get in there, it probably becomes less and less important. And it's mostly important at the top. That's certainly true. But that, at the same time, depending on what's going on in the takes, a lot of drummers like having the confidence of that click. Something you can just sync right up with it. You just know, you can just lock in with it. And if you ever wonder where you are, you just listen for a second and you're back on it. But yeah, if you're trying, no one else really wants to hear that. Back in the early days with Amusement, the studios always wanted us to play with a click, and I was so rebellious, and I never understood why. It didn't make any sense to me. Why on earth would you ever do that? And I don't think we ever, and then when we would try, we were so freaked out by it because we had a resistance to it that it made us nervous, and I wish we had learned that earlier on, been able to settle in, and because I think it's a good thing to be able to do. And I stalled that. I stunted. I stayed in adolescence in that regard for way too long. Now I get it. And it is amazing what it opens. Because even back before things were digital, people would splice tape like you wouldn't believe. The engineers back in the day were amazing at splicing tape. So they would be taking verse 1 from take 2 and verse 2 from take 10, and just splicing that stuff together. And the fact that they could play like clockwork is what enabled all that stuff to seem incredibly seamless. Like right now in the digital world, I can go in here and I could just grab this big chunk because it's all on the click. I could just grab all that, move it all the way over here, swap stuff around, and it's just going to sound seamless. You won't even notice that it happened. And it's pretty amazing how much you can suddenly do when everything is just on the click. All right, I bounced that. I guess it would take me a second to really upload it onto the website right now, just because not that long. Is there anybody out there that feels like playing right now? Should we get this done? I don't know. Talk to me. What's going on? What's going on? What should we do? What am I doing here? What's the plan? Oh wait, should I have a plan? I don't have a plan. The chat's over here, so I'm looking at when I want to look you in the eye, I'm looking right at the chat, which is stupid. If I really want to make that kind of emotional point or land that joke of an idea, I should look you in the eye right here, right? Although I feel you right here.
So yeah, I just came from the bottom of the ocean, ladies and gentlemen. It's there's a lot of pressure down there. It's like the pressure gets so intense down at the bottom of the ocean. It's like an elephant standing on your head. But some beautiful things down there. I saw these 2 shrimp. Now I don't know if you've ever seen these shrimp that they were like multicolored, like the colors of the rainbow. Beautiful, maybe chameleon shrimp or something. Or what are they called? I don't know what they're called. Unbelievably beautiful. They look like candy. They look like Willy Wonka invented these shrimp. And 2 of them were working together to get a starfish back to their house to eat it for days. The problem was the starfish, could grab onto the bottom of the rock. And they would like pry one of its arms up, and they get one of its arms, but as soon as they got one arm pried up, another arm would stick. So the 2 shrimp figured out they got to flip the thing over. So they flipped the starfish over. These are 2 Willy Wonka shrimp working in tandem as a team, deciding that they need to flip this thing over because it keeps on grabbing onto the rock. What's going on? I mean, they don't have brains apparently, so that just instinctively, that's all this. I mean, is there anything about our brains that's not instinctively? I guess it's our ability to wonder such things, like how the shrimp knows that. That's what separates me from that shrimp. It's not wondering why it knows.
At first I was afraid, I was petrified. Kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. But then I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong, and I grew strong, and I learned how to get along, and now I'm back on the plaque. Don't look surprised that I'm still singing, 'cause you know I have the knack. Can you believe what you see, that you can't believe it's me? Did you think for just 1 second you'd be back to look at me? I will survive, I will survive, I will survive. Hey, hey.
Some may say I was chasing my tail, then it got away, therefore I failed. What they don't know is what they can't see. I'm not chasing my tail, chasing me, said the dog to the flea. On a summer's day, oh glory be, the month of May. Every time I shed a tear, you get stronger, you come near. When the sky is blue, the way you run, I see myself in you. As I reach for the sun, said the willow tree, to the waterway, oh glory be, the month of May. Fly off like we never did meet. Say you don't mind, that's all you need. That wherever you wind, you take my seat. Said the flower to the bee on a summer's day. Oh glory be, the month of May. In the willow tree, to the waterway. Oh glory be, the month of May. Dog to the flea on a summer's day. Oh glory be, the month of May.
Got it up. I did it. It's that easy. I gotta add in gotta put in the BPMs and the key, I reckon, just to keep it consistent. .94 beats per minute. Key of C. He played it in C, say. Voila. Now, if you would like to play on any of these songs, simply go to nathansland.com, click Learn More, MOORE, on Quarantined. Hippie Fiasco rides again. Here's where you click to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're getting there. How many we got? We got 630. Started around 17 on the first day, and we're at, hi Nikki, and we're now at 634. That's 4 more since last time we looked. And then here's the songs. This is the folk song that we're all writing together, and then these are songs you can download and play to and send me your part. Tells you how to right here in the description. Download the files by clicking where it says free in the playlist. Import the track to your recording software, line it up, begin playing along. Then export your part, making sure, and these options will be there when you export. 16-bit, 44.1 hertz from the and you export it from the very beginning. Even if you just add a little symbol at the very end of the song, export the whole song from the beginning. So you just drag it in and it lines right up. And then you send it to me at hippiefiasco@nathansland.com. For a big file, you might have to use WeTransfer, Dropbox, something like that. I put a couple of links here for you if you don't know what that's about. And otherwise, you can just Google send large file. Send it on in. We'll drag it into the project and see what it sounds like. We've already been having some fun with my song Come Over. Sounded magical last night. Really going somewhere with that. And, of course, Wild Buckskin, Willie T. Taylor's song. Both songs sounding freaking sweet. Oh, look at that giant lemon that just popped up. That's a beautiful thing. downloaded the original Hippie Fiasco font today. I'd forgotten what it was and went through old emails and found it in my in old emails from back in the day. So now everything I type can be that live starting soon now is in the original Hippie Fiasco font. I couldn't remember what it was called, but it's called Keep On Truckin'. That's the name of the font. I really want to come up with a cool version of You and Me, or take the hill as it's come to be more often referred to on this cast. Yeah, so I left the solo section open on Ramblin' Man. Love you, buddy. This is a work night. I'm doing a work night. During the week we just play bingo and games and tell fart jokes and stuff, but gotta get some stuff done tonight, so I just sang a vocal. I want to find a cool version of this song. I wrote it as a rock song, and I started with the beat and the project and everything, but then when I tried to play it just as a troubadour, I was like, I don't know how to do it. It just doesn't directly translate. I need to find the folk singer version of the song is sort of what I'm saying. I'm an open book. I'll tell you anything. It's a tough one. Bear with me. I'm an open book. I'll tell you anything. Just don't look at the cover. I've been shook like a leaf in spring, but don't mind me. Love her each day. It's getting stronger, my love. I won't hide it any longer. I'm a Ferris wheel that's come off its stand, rolling down the hill and out across the land, pulling up into a drive in a double feature. I'm reaching for my lover's hand. The critics couldn't have been any wronger, my love. I won't hide it any longer. One of these days it's all gonna wash away, and they say there's nothing we can do. What do you say, you and me, babe? Show them that isn't true. Still feel like I'm straining my voice too much. I don't know how to do that without straining my voice that much. Hey, I'm going to go back on what I said earlier. I try not to call out the names of people that haven't chatted yet, because I want people to, I think it's a little creepy that you can't just like turn on the TV channel on Facebook on a friend without them calling your name out suddenly. It's a little disconcerting to be like, "Hey, Bill," and he hadn't even said anything yet, but "Hey, Bill." And the only reason I'm breaking my own rule here is because I think you should hop on here and tell me what you think is the right way to use delay. Just talk. You can hop in my Whereby app. I can send you the link, and your face would pop up here on the show, and you just talk to me about delay. How do you think about delay? How do you use it? Let me know if you're willing to do that. We're geeking out here a little bit. I've been sometimes we're going over to the Logic window, and working on these songs that we're all playing together. I just uploaded a new song to the website that people can download and record a part to at home and send it to me, and there's several up there. And so we've been playing that game here on the cast. That was trippy, wasn't it? Did you see that? How do I do this song naturally? There's so many character voices that could come with it. Here, I'll text you a link to the chat room where we could talk some delay. Now, Bill, I'm going to text you a link, and you can decide then, But what it's going to do is open up in a browser, if you're on your computer or even on your phone, and you don't have to give them any of your information. You just have to say yes to everything they say. But all they're really asking is if they can use your microphone and your camera. If that's still your number, invalid number. Let me try a different one. Did your number change recently? Hey, let's try this one. Well. Here, let's see if this works. I'm an open book. Tell you, I'm an open book. That's even higher. Oh, goodness. I'm an open book. I'll tell you anything, just don't look at the cover. I've been shook like a leaf in spring, but don't mind me, lover. Each day it's getting stronger, my love. I won't hide it any longer. I'm a Ferris wheel that's come off its stand, rolling down the hill and out across the land, pulling up into a drive-in, a double feature. I'm a-reaching for my lover's hand. The critics couldn't have been any wronger, my love. I won't hide it any longer. One of these days, it's all gonna wash away. And they say there's nothing we can do. What do you say? You and me, babe. Show them that isn't true. All right, looks like he had some success getting in there. Sweet. All right, here. I'm gonna do one thing. Move this right there. That was feeling a little better. That was my favorite version yet of Take the Hill. getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere there. It's work night. We're getting shit done here. Let this man in. Wait. Yes. Make sure I got the audio routed right. Don't see him. He'll be here any second now. Let's see here. I see his name in the window. Oh, he just hit some kind of button. Let's take the hill. I should have fixed my hair tonight. Gosh, that's the problem with tuning in on a work night. It's not showbiz here. I got to make myself. I haven't seen Bill in a while. I still haven't seen Bill in a while. I wonder if he can hear me. Here, we'll make him full screen for when he just bursts in all of a sudden. It'll be all him. You got it. I see your name. You're so close. So close. We're gonna get Bill Palmer in here on the line. He was the head engineer at Frogville Studios, and he co-produced and completely engineered several of the amusement records and my own records in his own worlds. He was in my band Percy Boyd. He's one of my dearest, oldest friends. We go all the way back to Austin, Texas, where we met, and he's had a lot of great. He's a great songwriter. He's put out a lot of great records. Was in 100 Year Flood, and Sharecroppers. We go way back. Me and this guy go way back. Haven't talked to him face to face though in a while. I wonder here. Hey Bill, I'm gonna kick you out. Try again. Let's see what happens if we do that. Text him and ask what's happening. What do you see? Question mark. Do you see me yet? Question mark. That is pretty amazing. I used to go to New Mexico. I lived in New Mexico for like 10 years. But then even after I left, I was always back there at least a few times a year at first, and then, at least a couple of times a year. And then there was a good, at least once a year. And now it's been way too long. I've truly been in quarantine. Oh, I just saw something just happened. Something just flashed on the screen. I saw a little BP. Oil companies coming. That's not British Petroleum. Why, that's Bill Palmer. Oh, that's right. He's yep. Was he playing with a full band out there? I feel like that flashing of your initials meant something. I can't hear you yet. I just saw that. Can you hear me? No, I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Question mark. Can you see me? Question mark. He can see and hear me. Oh, well, shoot, shucks. Did you say yes to all the right things when it right now it seems like when it asked to use your microphone and camera, maybe there was a wrong button hit in that moment. So it's the browser. Maybe shut the browser down and try it all over again. See if it asks again. I love that he just could see and hear me talking text messages to him. there's something about that tickles me. We'll figure it out. Oh, wait, I got it. Wait. No, wait. I think I know what's going on. Wait. Maybe it's. Wait, no. Here, try. No. All right, here we go. Work. So maybe text me if that window popped up again, or maybe you could try the link in a different browser. What are you on? There's so much I want to know. I wish I could see you. Oh, maybe it's. I know what it could be. Courage. All right, cool. Cheers to the engineers, right? Always. Here's a new song of mine I got for that theme in a way. Sort of fits.
I hit the brakes, oh, but it takes a long time to stop a train. Heavier the load, the further it goes. Takes a long time to stop a train. We were weighted down, we were standing bound. Takes a long time to stop a train. It's steel on steel, steel rail, steel wheels. Takes a long time to stop a train. Please get out of the way. Please get out of the way. Just at a crusade, standing on the tracks. Takes a long time to stop a train. Never saw his face, only saw his back. Takes a long time to stop a train. Was the end of March 2019. Takes a long time to stop a train. The steel threw sparks, the whistle screamed. Takes a long time to stop a train. Please get out of the way. Please get out of the way. Takes a long time to stop a train. A second man appeared. I cried a second time. Takes a long time to stop a train. Please get out of the way. Please get out of the way.
It's such a night. It's such a night. Sweet confusion under the moonlight. It's such a night. It's such a night. Let's steal away. The time is right. Oh, your eyes caught mine, and at a glance, well, you let me know, well, this was my chance. Well, you came here with my best friend Jim, and here I am, about to steal you away from him. Oh, if I don't do it, you know somebody else will. If I don't do it, you know somebody else will. If I don't do it, you know somebody else will. And if I don't do it, you know somebody else will. And it's such a night. It's such a night. Sweet confusion under the moonlight. Yeah, it's such a night. It's such a night. Let's steal away, the time is right. Well, I couldn't believe my ear, and my heart just skipped a beat. Well, you told me to take you walking down the street. You came here with my best friend Jim, and here I am, about to steal you away from him. Well, if I don't do it, you know somebody else will. If I don't do it, you know somebody else will. If I don't do it, you know somebody else will. And if I don't do it, you know somebody else will. And it's such a night. It's such a night.
Speaking of delay,
It's sort of perfect. We can hold on. We could actually talk in delay. Now I don't even know what I'm getting sound wise now. Talk to me.
hey,
Oh, you're really
I don't
quiet
know
in
why
my
that wasn't
ear.
working.
Say again.
I don't know why that wasn't working. I could see you clearly
And you could see yourself, which means that
and myself. Yeah, it was.
so it was
like
using
we
your
were talking,
camera,
but-
so that wasn't it.
Mhm.
Boy, hijacking
wouldn't
the
get
audio
through.
on FaceTime on the FaceTime app or whatever this is. It is the FaceTime app.
Are we on FaceTime? I don't think we are.
We're not
Maybe we
on
should be.
FaceTime, but that's the app that's open on my computer that you're talking through. We could just flip the video. Oh, goodness. Now we're talking.
All right.
But I still am a little concerned about the audio. Let's see what the chat says. But bam, there's your beautiful face on my show. That's all I really wanted. I just wanted the sex appeal thing. People are now scrolling down their wall and they're just going to click on the daggone stream because they're going to be like, who's that hunk of man right there? So,
Oh Lord.
yada yada yada, whatever you say. Just keep doing what you're doing right now, and my numbers are going up right now. It just went from 16 to 18 just since your face appeared.
Well, I just got me a fresh LaCroix. So.
Oh, by the way, that was Taylor Kingman with Such a Night. He put that on his Facebook wall from quarantine the other day. It was so good, I had to share it with you. Taylor Kingman's version of Such a Night. So let me know in the chat if you can hear Bill at all. If you can hear Bill at all. I wonder if
Can anyone tell I'm here?
I can't. The one thing I can't do is move these windows around. So I think from this end, I've never used FaceTime, so I don't know. Can I change the arrangement of windows, or am I trapped in this little square in the corner like Superman?
I think so. I don't know. If
be.
anyone can figure it out, you can.
Well, trial and error, buddy. That's only because I'm determined.
You're looking good, Nathan.
Oh, whatever.
I'm liking the salt and pepper beard.
Oh yeah, that really. You got one too. I can't believe it just happened one day. Like the next, I grew a beard out at one point. I shaved it off. A few months later, I grew a beard and it was a gray one. I was just like, whoa! Like I don't have a single gray hair anywhere on my head, but suddenly I grew a gray beard.
Yep, me too, man. Same
So
thing.
weird.
Yep.
And it wasn't just like one suddenly. It was like I grew a gray beard. Just like bam.
Yeah.
Oh, you can hear Bill loud and clear, they say. Am I way louder than him? I don't know why it's so quiet in my headphones. But I can roll with that. If she says loud and clear, then I'm happy. I don't have to get too worried with understanding why, because I can hear you good enough at least. Right. So, delay. What does delay mean to you? When do you use it often? Do you use it all the time? Do you use it very purposefully? Or what are some of your thoughts on delay? I'll just let you ramble for a second.
Well, I don't use delay all the time. With more folk styles, I rarely use delay. Sometimes if it's a folk style that's got some kind of blues edge or maybe a little old school rock and roll kind of sound to it at all, I'll use like a slap delay, usually at about 112, a real quick delay. But really,
now 112, that's milliseconds. Is that how audible is that? Is that just like a slap?
That's like it's like the Elvis delay.
Uh-huh.
It's like the old tape delay, quick. But so I use that a lot. Obviously, I use all plugins these days, but I use the Soundtoys Echo Boy is a really wonderful tool.
I used to have that one.
Some of those tape delays on there are really great. The cheap tape is one I use a lot, and I use the Memory Man, which is like a guitar pedal delay, but that one's got a really soft. I use delays a lot of times more often than reverb if I'm doing like more kind of pop or rock type, anything, and particularly if it's a thicker kind of mix. But because
it creates the space without washing things out or muddying it up too much.
Yeah. So one of the things I try to do is, because most of the stuff I work on these days is to some degree to a click track or some sort of a fixed tempo. And so I usually try to set my delays within that somehow. It can be, triplets or, dotted or whatever, but it'll be within the time because
on the grid.
I don't necessarily want to hear a delay that's sort of out of time.
Right.
There's a time and place for that.
It'd have to be very intentional.
Yeah. Right. Or very analog.
Right.
So
You're like, well, it's slightly out of time, but it's cool as shit.
I'll tell you what
It's
I've been
making
doing
me
a lot.
love how out of time it is. It's so cool.
Exactly. You know, what I've been doing a lot lately with delays is I really love the Sound Toy stuff with delays. They've really got the best. That Primal Tap is great, and the Echo Boy is great. But I'll take the Primal Tap, which is kind of like the Daniel Lanois delay. You know, it's like that sort of late '70s, early '80s digital delay thing, and I'll put it into ping pong
Mm-hmm.
so that it's, you know, it'll hit over here and then hit over here, and go back and forth. And then I'll take the Altar Boy effect that they have, which is this weird kind of where you can change the pitch and the formant of something with it. It's a really weird effect that
What's
I
the
love.
formant again?
The formant is like the wow, that kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I won't mess with those a lot of times, but it has this drive effect on it that I'll just turn all the way to the right. And then I'll put that after the delay, so you get this kind of edgy kind of thing. And then I'll go in and I'll take the Fab Filter. I can't remember what it is, but it's one of the Fab Filter plugins that it has this little. It's like a high pass and a low pass that you can really narrow down to like a single band. And I'll go around and I'll find this place, and I'll put that last, and I'll find this place where the delays now don't have any bottom end and don't have any top end. They just have like kind of mid-range.
Right.
And I'll move around and find where it sits in the song. And so I'll use that a lot in place of reverbs.
Uh-huh. So how many delays was that when all was said and done?
Well, that's just one delay, you know, like the Primal Tap. And
But
then,
you weren't-
And then
Oh, so you were just talking about different instances and different purposes, not like you would do all those to one track.
yeah, to one track. So like I'm setting up a delay in an auxiliary,
Right.
you know, and I'm sending things to it. And so like I've got the Primal Tap going, and then I put like the Altar Boy with the weird kind of
Oh, so you're
overdrive.
using them as sends.
Yeah. Well, I'm putting that after the delay, so that's now affecting the delay.
Oh.
And then I'm putting the Fab Filter kind of mid-range thing, peak
Oh,
thing.
that's just an EQ, the Fab Filter.
Exactly, and I'm
Gotcha.
sliding that around.
Right.
And so those are all on that aux channel after the delay. So
Gotcha.
you're basically affecting the delay after it
Sweet.
happened.
Okay, that's cool.
So that's something I've been getting into, and so you're able
So
to really.
when you create that, sorry to cut you off there.
No,
but
no, good.
When you create the aux send, is that because you want to send more than one thing to the same delay?
Sometimes, but
I mean, I know the reasons for not putting it on the track itself, but I was wondering if it was also because you reuse that same setting on different instruments, or
yeah, sometimes that's the case. And also, I just kind of like to keep my track. If it's a vocal, I like to keep it kind of clean.
mm-hmm.
And not to say that I'm not putting things all over that track, but I really just kind of want to have my effects over here to the side that I can sort of blend to taste,
Right.
and not necessarily using the mix knob. For some reason, I like to put an effect over on an aux channel and crank it all the way up, crank the mix knob all the way up.
Yeah, yeah.
Just have it full blast.
Right. Yeah, of course.
It
And
feels
then
like you can
then
get more
you blend
space.
it in with the send.
And also, it's like if I put, a delay, like a stereo effect on the track, I don't really want it sitting after my compressor on that track. For some reason, it's just the way my ears work. And I don't want it in front, because then it makes that compressor have to be a stereo, so it's eating up that much more.
Right.
So if you've got it over on its own thing, then it allows your kind of mono channel to kind of stay pure.
So once you do that, like, how do you know where to set the delay in the mix? Do you want to hear it?
Sometimes not.
So what role is it if you mix it to a place where you've gone through all that work to create that channel, and then you mix it so far down that you can't hear it. What's it doing in the track?
Well, it's creating some space. It's creating a stereo space. It's
Because
giving
we
some,
can actually hear it a little bit or something?
right. Yeah.
Even though you can't pick it out, it's still a reflection of what came before, so it creates, like we're talking.
It's one of those things. It's like you can't tell it's there, but you take it away and you can tell it's gone.
Right.
And there's those kinds of things are very powerful in a mix to me.
And is the times that you do want to hear it, is that just taste, or are there any rules about that?
God, no rules. But sometimes, like say in the first verse or whatever, I don't really want to hear that delay. So I go and I turn the volume down and then I automate it up when I want to hear it.
Right.
And I'll work the delay. And there's another reason why it's good to have it on an aux send. Because you've got that channel over there and you can automate it.
Right. So you can really swell the delay up for a second and bring it all the way out.
Whereas if you have it as a plug-in on the channel, you got to go in there and mess with all that crap. And then you're kind of creating a bit of a can of worms.
Right. How you doing?
Man, tolerably well for an older gentleman.
Thanks for talking to us.
Yeah.
I wonder if our chat has any questions about delay from our resident. I don't know, what would you call yourself?
Hell if I know. Knucklehead.
Our resident knucklehead, Bill Palmer. He's felt a knob or two in his day over the years.
But it's kind of one of those things where anymore with effects like reverbs and things, I tend to like to darken them. I like to take a lot of the top end sizzle out of them because it gives them more depth and it kind of fattens the track. It gives you more meat on your track. It's where if you have all that treble going, you get all this sizzle and stuff.
Right.
And it's kind of like you find yourself always kind of fighting against that.
And then the delay is more like a shadow than like a sparkle or something. Yeah.
One of the things, something I'm getting into more and more, and you and I cut our teeth in the analog realm.
Aren't you grateful for that?
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I like about being the age I am, was being able to have experienced all that.
Yeah. My ears want to hear that stuff still.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm completely, fully, totally digital and love it, I still seek out some of those tones. And it's so easy to get them in the digital world now.
Mm-hmm.
But I use a lot of harmonic distortions. I would say that's really become kind of the secret weapon for me in a great mix is harmonic distortions on everything.
And how do you achieve that? Just by overdriving plugins, or I would think by the word distortion, you must mean something's going beyond where it's supposed to be. It's somewhere in the chain.
Not necessarily. The distortion is just a part of sound. It's in our voices. It's in the gravel in our voice, or it's in when you play even an acoustic guitar. There's some vibration going on, and those are distortions, and they're beautiful distortions. And so, like in analog gear, you run across a piece of tape, and you've got all these harmonic distortions and things that naturally happen, or you run through some tubes and they give distortions, or just wires and circuitry give distortions. So all this analog stuff creates distortions along the way, beautiful distortions, and they fatten the sound. So if you take it away, and if you're getting just a purely digital sound, you're not getting those distortions, and so your sound is essentially a lot thinner because you're not getting all those harmonics to each thing.
So how do you simulate that in a plugin? Just by using them?
I use so many instances, it's unbelievable. But like using like a Neve 1073 plugin going in has beautiful harmonic distortions, or any of the analog channel simulators.
I have the 88 RS.
I want that really badly.
I wonder if I could even appreciate the difference, but
well, if you're using it, you're hearing the beauty of what it does.
I mean, between like that and the 1073.
No, I mean the 1073 is just it's an older sound and just that classic thing, that you heard on so many records. But I use a plug-in. So let's say just like one channel, let's say like a vocal track. At the top in my first slot, I'm using this plug-in called the Kazrog True Iron. I got it for I think about $10 on sale, and you could probably get it for about $50 now.
Pure iron.
True Iron.
True
And
iron.
what it is it simulates I think like 6 or 8 different input transformers of different types of old analog gear. And
Well,
there's one that's
just the
look it
input.
up. Yeah, just the input transformers. And so it's got the Neve 1073, the old Marinair transformer, is one of the selections, and I like to go to that one a lot. There's also one that's like the Western Electric that they used to use for old radio and telephone lines and stuff like that. Just a big ass transformer, and it imitates it really beautifully and well. It's a great.
Yeah, they're really figuring the emulations out just in the last few years. It seems like finally, like really, someone like you who's used the actual gear for the first time since they started making these emulations, you're like, oh, wait, hold the phone. That's sort of it right there. Whereas
So
10 years ago, they were making the emulations, but they couldn't compare.
Right. But they are now.
Right. So cool.
And this True Iron is a wonderful plugin. And so the way that I use this is I will put it on the top of every track in my mix. And
Are you also using the Apollo Unison with the Neve on it? Mm-hmm. So you're sort of simulating 2 input transformers to a certain extent.
Yeah, a lot of times if I use the Neve to record, I won't use the True Iron Neve setting in my mix. I'll use a different one.
Right.
So it's like if I was using Neve to track it, I maybe want to mix through an API or something.
Right.
So I'll take that Kazrog and I'll put it at the top of every channel, and just immediately everything is now like going through a console.
Right. Which is cool.
And so then I come down and I'll use it like an EQ of some kind. And I usually, the way I like to mix, I'll usually use the same EQ on every channel, like a console.
Right.
And then I'm using a plugin.
Do you use knobs or like a parametric, or what kind of EQ do you tend to, ones you draw it in, like scoop it out with a big, knobs? Yeah.
I use the 1073 a lot. There's also a Pultec is great, and Sound Toys makes wonderful plugins, and there's one called the PsyQ that I love. And then there's a plugin that I'll put on every track too called the Decapitator.
See, I used to have those Sound Toys. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, those are wonderful. That Decapitator, the Ampex tape machine setting on that is wonderful, and you can set different flavor. You can set it to taste. But I'll put that on the drums, I'll put it on the bass, I'll put it on the vocals, I'll put it on the acoustic guitar.
Wait, what's the Decapitator again?
It's a harmonic distortion generator.
That's all it is.
That's all it is.
Wow.
And so you can set it to nuke, or you can have it just to where it's like muddies the water a little bit.
Right.
And so with those elements across every track, you start to glue everything together like it's coming from one place.
Right.
And I would say that's a common mistake that people make with digital mixing, is like trying to make everything sound too different.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like if we like that kind of analog world, which I do, you want everything to kind of sound like it's coming from one place.
Right.
Even if you're throwing like a weird effect or something,
Right.
So.
Well, that's pretty inspiring. It is. I want to just open up this mix now and start doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
Making them watch me do it.
And then like on the master bus or whatever, like I'll put a tape machine across the top of it, like Steven Slate.
I got the Studer.
The Studer.
I got the UAD Studer one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just put that on the master bus. And so right there, not including the inputs, just in plugins in my mix, right there is 3 instances of harmonic distortions going across everything that comes through.
Right. Right. No,
So you're really,
I'm picking up what you're putting down here.
yeah, you're really coloring. You're really like smoothing. It's like when you take a picture or whatever on your phone and you start putting filters and messing around with it. You're really gritting it up and making it have that cool thing.
Right. So when you put the Neve plug in after the first one that was just
The Kazrog.
right, is there a way that you bypass the input transformer on the Neve to use it just as an EQ, or
I just don't turn up the gain any on it.
that's all you have to do really? Do you use mic or line?
Well, I'm using the Legacy.
Oh,
I'm using the Legacy when I do that because it's not using a lot of processing.
and it doesn't have mic or line?
It doesn't have that color like the Unison one does.
Right, gotcha.
It's more like just the flavor of the EQ, not so much the sound of the transformer in that one.
So to go back to delay for a second, what relationship does it have with instruments? Do you use it differently? Like, do you use it on every instrument?
No, not usually.
It's just for blank.
Yeah, you can use different kinds in different ways,
But
One of the
rarely on
great-
drums, say?
Occasionally, like on a room mic for drums, I'll put a real faint delay in time and turn it way down, mix it way down. So it's just very, so if your beat's like doom doo doo ba, doom doo doo ba, maybe if you're just soloed out the room mic, you would hear like doo 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 ba ba, doo 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 ba ba, doo doo. But then you pull that way down to taste so that it kind of gives it kind of a room effect.
Right. Like you're playing in a auditorium or something, or a tile room.
Yeah.
Right,
Exactly.
right. But it's always about creating space, not necessarily about creating an effect.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You're not trying to be Pink Floyd,
Sometimes, but
but
not
you might be
usually.
trying to be Patsy Cline. It's still like a
Right.
way to use delay that sort of creates the space, whether it's outer space or a room or someone singing, whatever it is, you're creating a space with it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And one of the great uses for delay is because I mix with a technique called LCR,
What's
which
that?
means left, center, right.
Mm.
So everything in my mix is either panned all the way to the left, it's in the center, or it's all the way to the right.
Really?
I very rarely put anything anywhere in between those positions.
Whoa.
I never use like 10% to the left, or occasionally with some background vocals or something, I'll put background vocals at 50% either side if I want them to kind of fill up some weird space.
Interesting.
But everything,
So if you have one acoustic guitar, it's going to be all the way in the left, the right, or center? Or would you always try to have two of something?
well,
One piano, it's either all left.
Mm-hmm.
So if you put two mics on a piano, would you put one left and one right?
Yeah, totally.
Do you use two mics on everything a lot with this technique?
Never.
You record a lot of mono stuff, electric
Almost
guitar, whatever.
Almost all mono. I use stereo overheads on drums.
Right. That are left and right.
Mm-hmm. Hard left and hard right.
Interesting.
If I mic up like the toms, like the rack tom and the floor tom, I'll put the rack tom all the way to one side and the floor tom all the way to the other in correspondence with the overhead so that they really, and I'll, I just cut this record in this old church down in Terlingua, Texas. And this band came down from Santa Fe and we set up in this old church, and I brought my mobile rig and my Apollo and laptop and everything in there and my mics. And my brother Jim was on drums, and we had a fiddle player. We had a guy playing guitar and singing. I had those panned up the middle, had them mic'd separately, had them panned in the middle. I was actually on bass and engineering, but playing live.
Bass is up the middle.
Bass in the middle. kick and snare. I had a top and bottom snare. Those were in the middle. Kick drum was in the middle. Overheads were hard left and right. And then I had a fiddler sitting over here, and she's all the way to the left, and a pedal steel player over here, and he's all the way to the right. We've got him kind of like jackets and stuff covering his amp just to keep bleed down, because we were sitting in a circle playing live with no headphones. So everything had to be, you had to hear the vocalist or you were too loud. And so I had the fiddle all the way to the left and the pedal steel all the way to the right. But where they were sitting in correspondence to the overheads was, say, the fiddle is coming through this overhead, but she's actually panned to the other side. So we get a little, yeah, it's flipped.
So they bled into the overheads that rounded out there. That's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you think like that, you're thinking in those kinds of ways.
Right.
And there is a great use of delay right there. So say I've got like the violin in the left-hand side. Say I'm not leaning on the overhead, but I want that violin to spread. I'll put a real quick, soft, dark delay on the other side across from where the violin is. And then the pedal steel is over here on the right, and I'll put a real quick, soft delay over on the other side.
What's real quick?
Like in that kind of...
Only one repeat, doesn't repeat more than once, right?
Right.
No feedback.
And in that kind of a situation, maybe like 30 to 80 milliseconds.
Mm-hmm.
Real fast, depending.
It's so hard to think in milliseconds.
Yeah.
It took me a really long time to understand at all what it might be like in real life. I don't know why it was so hard for me to think in milliseconds.
Right.
Or why I even tried. Because I should have just been listening and not trying to think in milliseconds, but I was trying to think in milliseconds. All right, how long would that be? It's a freaking millisecond.
So that's a great use of delay right there. There you go. That's a great use.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense in the world. But it seems like it would, I mean, it'd be so quick, it wouldn't even sound like a delay, really. It just makes it happen it's creating a space.
More of an echo in the room or something.
Right.
Across the room. Yeah.
Yeah.
To use those with guitars or things, when you're panning things, cross.
Right.
And so all of a sudden, even though you've panned your one instrument all the way to one side, all of a sudden it's filling up this whole spectrum across like this.
Right.
Yeah.
I think when I hang up with you, I might open that project back up and start panning stuff and adding harmonic distortion. It all sounds like fun.
It'll change your life, man. Those are life-changing things for me. I was in L.A. A couple of years ago, and I met Jim Scott, world-famous producer, engineer. He was the engineer on Tom Petty's Wildflowers record and has produced Wilco and Rolling Stones. And, I mean, look his name up. This guy is done so much.
Right.
But he came up to me at this party, and it was kind of funny, We had our cocktails, and he just kind of out of the blue, he was like, "Do you know about LCR?" And I was like, "No." He was like, "Well, it's left, center, right. It's where you put everything all the way to the..." And he was like, he's like got gray hair and everything, and he's fascinated by this concept. He's been using it for fucking 40 years.
Has he?
Maybe. And he's still wanting to talk about it.
Maybe he invented it. Maybe that's part of his legacy.
Yeah. Well, the Beatles were using it. And that was the thing. Back in the old days, you didn't have pan knobs that swept around. You had to put something all the way to one side, all the way in the middle, all the way to the other side.
Right.
And then by the time like Jimi Hendrix comes around, they've got one pan knob that they can take one instrument and move it around. So that's how his guitars started floating around in the mix.
Right.
But LCR was you had to use it. And so when he mentioned this to me, and I was like, well, I was like, well, don't things get kind of bunched up if you put too many things? And he was like, did you ever listen to mono? because they put everything in one place in mine.
Right. This is three
You've got-
places
this is
instead
three
of one.
places.
Right. Ah, it's fascinating.
And he basically
And it's
told
only
me-
3 instead of infinite.
Right. And he told me, he said, if something doesn't belong in if something doesn't fit in one of those 3 places, it doesn't fit.
I'm learning a lot about that along the way because I try to make a lot of things fit that shouldn't be there at all.
Me too, man.
Oh my God, I'm the worst. I got it bad, man. I got it bad. I'm learning though. It's a hard knock life here. I'm learning.
What's that thing you and I used to say? Kill your children?
Wait, I don't remember that one.
I think that was you and me.
What was it?
Kill your children.
What does that mean?
Things that are very precious to you.
Oh, right.
You have to learn how to say goodbye to
You're
them.
gonna have to let that go, Nathan. You probably have to talk me down, like. But I love that accordion. No, you're just gonna have to say goodbye. You're gonna have to let it go.
I'll tell you what. At the end of the day, I've never regretted anything I got rid of. I've only regretted leaving things that
Stuff
shouldn't
I
stay.
kept. Right. There you go. That makes all the sense in the world.
So just to finish out this LCR thing, I left LA and I got back to Santa Fe, and the first thing I did was put everything to the left, everything to the right, and everything in the center. And I was blown away immediately, and every mix I've done since then has been pretty much LCR. So there was this famous producer that came into the studio working on a record, Tom Fletcher. He worked on those Toto records in the 80s and produced some Ozzy Osbourne and things like that. Anyway, he was working on this thing. And we were standing in the kitchen one day, and I sprung the question on him. I asked him if he knew about LCR.
Ah,
And he says, yeah, fuck that shit, man.
really?
I don't want to be limited by that old antique bullshit. So there you go. There's the other side.
The other side. I love it. I love it. But had he heard of it?
Yes.
He had.
He's like, fuck that. That's the way the Beatles did. I fucking hate that shit.
He probably hates that dude you met in L.A.
It probably hates him.
They have a whole personal beef. Hey, I just fixed our screen. This is the best, most professional this has looked. P.S. Since we started talking,
Oh, cool.
multitasking. Meanwhile, I now have us both on the screen, and I had both of us on the screen pretty good for the last few minutes, but you could still see the little me up in the top corner from the FaceTime thing. Sort of like
Now
you
it's
see the
big
little
you.
you right now. But I just got rid of the little me, the little Superman floating in plate glass in space. Remember that?
Yeah.
When they imprisoned, when I guess Superman first imprisoned those 3 bad guys in a plate glass that just flopped through space.
So how are you doing, Nathan? How is this whole quarantine thing?
Well, I've been in quarantine for years already.
I knew you were going to say that.
It's true, though. It's ridiculous.
I knew
Yeah,
you were
I've
gonna
become
say that.
incredibly, since I don't travel anymore. I don't I don't even know what to do with myself when I leave the house.
Yeah.
So I don't tend to do it. I'm just here I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm also OCD, so I'm very nervous about this kind of stuff, like just getting sick and dying and things like that. I'm nervous chap anyways. Yeah. So, when a package comes from, if we get something delivered or something, I just leave it on the porch for a few days before I open it. Stuff like that. My friends come over to my friend Brian came to get his drums and stuff, and I brought them out to him. I feel a little weird. That was early on too. It's like, all right, Nathan's definitely taking this very seriously right out of the gate. Don't want to mess with him.
Yeah.
But now I'm nervous. For two reasons. I'm actually, because I still smoke, I'm sort of at risk in a weird way. For the first time in my life, as strong as my constitution is, I might qualify for the at-risk group to a certain extent because I'm 50 and I smoke. But So that worries me. And I smoke, so I'm worried that I don't have enough cigarettes if shit gets weird. But I'm too afraid to go to the store to buy more. So I'm in this like weird, awkward addict space, of like, oh, do I have enough of my do I have enough? Do I have enough? Because I don't want to go out and get more. But those are just those aren't really serious issues.
That's the way I am with those honey covered almonds
Do you
and
have enough?
sesame seeds. I don't.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, my package has been about this full for days, and like I go and I get a handful, and then I'm like, I put
Rationing.
most of them back and just
Well, the rub is, and I'm hoping that it's never even going to get too scary here, that everybody seems to be doing the thing and we haven't had a case. So maybe in a couple of weeks it'll be safe to come out and play. But on the other side, the moment I think, oh, I'm going to need more cigarettes, it's going to be too late. That's the thing that scares me. The moment I'm like, oh, I'm going to need more cigarettes, I'm definitely not going to want to go buy them.
why?
At the moment, I got enough.
Yeah.
If this thing just plays out, in a reasonable way. But the moment I realize I don't have enough is the moment it will also be too late. Because the reason I'll realize, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I'm thinking like, oh shit, I don't have enough, something's going on out in the world that's not good.
Yeah, you don't want to be out there getting more.
Right, exactly. So that's part of my day today of fretting about that.
My thing is, like I'll be like, watching something on YouTube or whatever, just laying around, like eating chocolate and drinking hot tea. And I'm like having a great time listening to the new Bob Dylan track or something and just having a great time. And then I get up and like walk in the other room and then realize that everyone is locked in their houses.
Right.
And it's like those moments of like, shit is not normal.
It's really not.
And it hits me. And one of the things I've realized in sort of recent times is that I feel a lot. I mean, not saying that other people don't, but that's something I've noticed about myself is like, I'm very sensitive to things and I feel things. And I think years of probably drinking alcohol and stuff have been kind of a way of kind of dealing with this sort of.
Right.
And so I'm trying to figure out how not to feel so much and how to just kind of be okay.
Is feeling a lot not okay?
It is, but I've being locked in the or I'm not really locked in the house, but sort of being cut off from civilization.
Right.
And everything is it's creating some depression that I've never experienced before.
Right. Aw. Yeah.
I mean, not serious or anything.
No, I hear you.
Sort of anxiety and frustration. And, it's like.
Which is probably something that's always there, but the way you deal with it is by being with people and doing things, and that makes it okay.
Yeah, going out and having a few beers or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and I don't smoke a lot of grass anymore.
Right.
And I rolled up a joint the other day and I smoked it and I realized that like, this makes me feel too much. Like, I need to go the opposite direction.
Right.
I don't want to feel.
So what's the opposite direction? Like Netflix?
Maybe. I don't know. That new Bob Dylan song really got to me. Have you heard that?
Isn't that interesting? It was amazing and fascinating. And how does he always keep it so mysterious? What an enigma that man is. He's always, every step of the way, like he's going to surprise you. He's going to keep you guessing. You're going to wonder what he's saying and doing, and you're also going to secretly think you completely know or something, like what he's doing, like you're in on it somehow. He's just so good at all
what
that.
What really hit me when I first listened was about 8 minutes in, he starts talking about all the songs. And he goes, and the rest of the song, with one little exception where he talks
Right.
about he talks about the brothers kind of in the middle of that second half. But he's just talking about the songs, and the way he keeps saying, like, play this, play that, play me such and such, play. And it's such a weird sort of turn in the song. But like the power of the song could not exist without that strange. It's almost like he's pleading, or it's like he's trying to forget, or he's trying, it's like la 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 la. I don't want to think about this. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to feel this. I don't want to.
Right. Play something great. Right.
Like let's. It really got to me, like on an emotional level. Like, not even the subject of Kennedy so much, but just Dylan's heart and his depth in that. The way that he tells the story is like, wow, man.
I've listened to it a couple of times, but I haven't sat down and just read the words. I want to do that next.
Yeah.
I heard someone saying that they thought it was a better read than a song, but that just
I
made
love
me.
the melody when he goes
It's
up to
such
that A
a-
minor.
Yeah.
He keeps going up to that A minor. Every time they go to the A minor, it just kills me.
And there's that interest. I can't tell if they're dropping a beat or just accenting a weird beat. Is there a weird one in there, or are they just accenting it funny?
It's just, I think they're just following him.
That's what I'm imagining too. Like do you think it? I don't know if that's him. Is that him playing piano? You think?
I was wondering that tonight when
Because
I was listening to it.
I mean, at first you're like, oh, he's playing piano and they're following along, but then there's some things the piano does that I don't know if he could do that.
But then I listened again tonight and I was like, well, maybe he could, because there's a lot of chaos in it.
Right, but there's some runs there that, I mean, it would have had to have been a while ago at least. Like, I don't think he could do that today, if he ever could play some of those piano runs. But maybe he could. He was always like a songwriter piano player,
Yeah.
not like a classical piano player. And there's a couple of runs in there that I'm like, I don't know. That was a pretty
Probably
impressive.
someone else in the room playing, even if he is too.
Which is even more mysterious if that's the case, because they're all playing this really interesting piece of music that it must have been charted in some way. But it also
There's
feels
definitely a real simple kind of 1-4-5 thing. I don't know if it's 1-4-5. What is it? It's one. I don't know. I'm kind of an idiot when it comes to those things. But
right.
But there's a form. But you almost get the feeling like maybe he's standing in the room and he's giving them the sign for when the turn comes.
Right.
Or he's
That could work.
letting them know when the change is happening.
Right. Because it's not
You
the
really
same
get-
every time. It didn't seem like it.
Yeah. No. It's,
Do we have any idea when it was recorded?
I think 2012 is what I'm seeing. It was an outtake from the Tempest record. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. I always think it's so interesting that he went the Born Again route, and he's never really backed down from that. Like he's definitely stopped. He made gospel records for a while, and he would even preach the gospel at his shows and stuff. I've seen clips of that. But even though, I mean, he doesn't proselytize anymore, and hadn't for a long time, he still is not afraid to be a man of a religious man. Like even in the tweet when he shared this thing, there was a God bless you in sort of a heartfelt way at the end of his little message to the world.
Mm-hmm.
I always think that's interesting because he's such a trickster too. He's always been a trickster from day one. So you just never know where Dylan's really coming from, but he always gives you a lot of material to play with in your imagination, and he's just really good at maintaining a sense of wonder around him. I love that.
I feel like there's kind of some honesty in this release, and like its timing, and really savvy of him to do this now, and maybe very compassionate and like the empathetic side of him. showing,
Which is
but
a side we don't
also
see all that often, but we know exists for sure.
also kind of a vulnerability too, though, because you realize that the Free Will and Bob Dylan came out like 6 months before Kennedy died, and it's almost like here he is, kind of at this time, and maybe his mortality is in question because of this coronavirus thing. He's certainly vulnerable and maybe feeling that a little bit, but reflecting back to kind of the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And like something that probably must have had a very profound effect on him, that his career was just starting to explode during the Kennedy administration.
Right.
And then Kennedy
Freewheeling.
dies.
Just like, here we go. Giddy up.
And then Kennedy dies, and it's like the end of the innocence, and we've heard this so much, but I couldn't help but like kind of feel for Bob a little bit, like he was like confessing something a little bit
Right.
about something that had had a big effect on him. It's like he's talking about himself a little bit. In fact, he talks about it in the first person as if he is Kennedy. If you listen to the lines, he's like, I'm riding in the car. I'm sitting next to my wife. I lay my head over on her lap.
Do the verses sort of go chronologically up to,
Not really.
like, it seems like with the genres of music, like it sort of progresses a little bit. Like at one point I'm like, oh, now we're in the 80s or so, but I couldn't tell if it like if that maintained on any level. I'm trying to.
Early on, he gives some reference of a song that's like way past.
Right.
But it's like Dylan must have had some really pretty heavy thoughts about the Kennedy thing, and he never spoke about it until now. And I find that interesting.
Right.
He waited all these years, 50-something years, to really tell what he thought about it.
I can't tell if it's good or bad that there's conspiracy theorists out there that are like QAnon is like 17 minutes long, 17 QAnon. He knows. Like they can just insert that. I've already seen evidence of tweets and stuff like that of conspiracy theorists talking about how Dylan's hip to the Illuminati or whatever it is that the system is personified as.
I've seen some of that.
But I don't know. Dylan probably doesn't care. Probably doesn't. The trickster that he is like, well, of course they would.
Yeah. He probably gets a kick out of it.
It means he made something that was he made a tool. He made a tool. Anybody can pick up a hammer. Doesn't mean everybody can hit the nail.
I've seen so many posts of people sharing that about how it was moving to them and how it's like, I don't know quite how to pinpoint my emotions. And that was the effect that it had kind of had on me. And it really makes me reflect on this time that we're in and what we're going through and how profound music kind of is in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And like almost like we kind of have this little window of opportunity. And I just actually finished up a song of my own that some of my dear friends have contributed to from other studios and sent me parts and things. And kind of at the end, as I was sort of tying up the mix the other day, I came to tears because it just felt so important.
Mm-hmm. That's so cool.
And I
And
think
you see that with not only with music but with all the things that we've always loved all our lives. Like people are thinking gardening is important in a new way, baking bread is important. So, having a glass of tea or wine with your neighbor, even if it's from 10 feet away, is. I mean, our neighborhood is getting closer knit than ever because we're all forced to be apart. Like we're communicating on a new level, and just on so many ways. And if you're a craftsman or an artist or someone that knows how to do something, you've become more important in this paradigm to a certain extent, which is that's a silver lining.
I think there's a little bit of reverence that I see in people out there in the world. Bella, my daughter, is 18 today. It's her birthday.
Unbelievable.
But we went out for a hike in the mountains today because nature is open.
And Quana's 20 now?
He's turned 20, yeah.
Unbelievable.
But we were out today and we were passing people on the trail, and it's kind of amazing. You pass some people and they're like getting out of the way and standing over here and not looking you in the eye. There's this kind of fear thing. And then there's these other people who look at you from way on back there, way on back in the back of their minds. They're connecting with you. And we were sitting and drinking some sparkling waters and eating some hummus and sitting on the side of a trail, and this old couple kind of walked past us, and there were some young people that kind of stopped, and it was this little congregation where a couple of trails cross. And this man, this older guy, he says, "I want my wife to tell you all a joke." And we were all kind of looking like, okay. And he's like, "I just love to hear her tell it. Honey, would you tell them that joke?" And she's like, "Oh God, you want me to tell them that joke?" He's like, "Please, just tell him the joke." And we're all just kind of sitting here in the dirt, up in the mountains. And she says, "Okay." So this guy goes to the cafe and he orders a BLT NT. And the waitress says, "Well, I know what a BLT is, but what's NT?" And he says, "It means not toasted." And she says, "Oh, okay," and walks back and puts his order in. And then she brings his plate out and sets the sandwich in front of him. And he goes and he takes a bite and he just spits it out. And he's like, "Oh, God, this bread is soggy." And the waitress looks at him and says, "SHIT. And he says, "What does that mean?" And she says, "Should have had it toasted." And we all just died laughing in the middle of the woods.
And there you go.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Good story.
Well, good to see you, Nathan.
Great to see you.
Guess I ought to go put my head down.
You're a natural at this. Will you do it again sometime?
Let's do it. You let me know, man. Shoot me a text and say I need you on my show.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of mixing in real time and stuff. It's a good springboard for us to start our conversation with, is a actual mix question.
I'll hop in. Tonight was the first time that I hopped in. I'll hop in and get involved. And
awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, sweet. Love you, man.
Love you too. Take care, everybody.
Good night. Bill Palmer, ladies and gentlemen. Big hand. Be right back.
Do we know whose hands these are? Do we know whose hands these are?
We are cracking this open.
Vintage 1988. What year was that?
88.
88.
Oh, let me think. It was my second marriage.
Oh, wow. How does it feel?
Dude, I haven't unwrapped a tape.
I feel that myself.
Oh, wow. Feel that.
Oh, yeah.
That squeaky feeling that was like.
Oh.
Dead's first studio album in 7 years.
Smell it.
Oh yeah. Well, you gotta save the sticker that goes in there, right?
It does.
Like mark
Wow.
it. Come on.
Wow. Amazing.
You know all these ones, right?
Sure do, buddy.
Are they on the 160
You do all those
song
songs?
list?
We do 1, 2, 3, 4.
Got a cassette of
We do 5 of
In
8.
the Dark by the Grateful Dead. And Joe plays with the Dead now, so.
We do 5 of 8.
Nice. After shit.
All right, soldier, rock and roll. Can't win the war just sitting. He's off on another tour. No one believes in the mission. And in writing to his worried wife, he tells her not to worry. Another day in life can't be in any hurry. And they say you can always change the channel. If you don't like it, just turn it off. They say, they say. It's hard to say anymore. For a while I managed, one by one, every word became a different language, written on a different world. All together, started with a solemn vow. Now it's sometimes never. They say you can always change the channel. If you don't like it, just turn it off. They say, they say. Sometimes when it's perfect outside, don't it still seem like anything's possible? Maybe the moon is full, the light's just right, but it seems like the sun might just rise on a new world, seeing things in a little different way. I mean, what's to stop us? Then again, you know what they say, they say. Good morning, wake up, they say. You can always change the channel. If you don't like it, just turn it off. They say, they say, they say, they say, they say, they say. They say, they say, they say, they say, they say, they say.
You see, I keep thinking that what we need is a new language. A language of the heart.
Revolution Radio.
Revolution Radio. Yeah, definitely Hippie Fiasco Rides Again and Revolution Radio definitely prepared me for this moment of streaming revolution that's happening online on Facebook and so many places in so many ways. It's such a beautiful thing. I love seeing all my friends get better at streaming. Their shows have gone, from the first day to by day 5, their lighting was completely different. That was a great conversation there with Bill Palmer. And I can't imagine anybody that's, in learning how to record music at home or even a professional engineer, producer from all levels could have gleaned something from that conversation. That was a very enlightening, inspiring conversation. I knew he would be good at this, and he seems willing to do it again. So that'll be a fun regular face to see and he always has some pearls. I'll love you back. I'm glad you tuned in too. Good to see all you guys. Hey there. Rosemary, Felicia, MC. Wasn't that nice? That was so nice. He does make me just want to dive in now back into this recording that we were working on earlier and start panning everything hard left and right and listening to that delay again. This song is now on the website, by the way, for people to play along to. Cut that click off.
This isn't an illness, it's no strange disease. It's just stillness against a maddening breeze that carries those old songs, that's bending the trees.
I don't like my vocal delay now.
But I ain't going, I'm hunkered down on my knees. And it's hard, no one around here can understand. It's hard. See, I used to be a rambling man. There's signs along the highway, then there's signs along the highway. Stay and read between the lines, and you're sure to find the way. Gotta love that living, that life I swore I'd never stray. But I ain't going, no, I'm going to stay. And it's hard, no one around here can understand. It's hard. See, I used
Definitely
to
be some harmonies there. So I took the harmonica out so people could solo there. See your question in the chat about the new Bob Dylan track. Yes, but Bill and I just actually talked about it for a while a few minutes ago on the webcast. At some point you might want to go back there and check it out. It was interesting to hear his take on it. Wow. So
you won't believe the magic that rises right out of thin air. And it's hard to find that in an old rocking chair. But I ain't going, now I'm a really good stop for those that dare. And it's hard.
good to see you, Rosie.
No one around
Glad
here can
you're
understand.
safe.
It's hard. See, I used to be a rambling man.
Yeah, there it is. That song is now on the website for people to send in their harmonies, their parts. I'm going to put a drumless version up there in case any drummers want to play along. I'm going to do that for all the tracks. As soon as I learn how to bounce the click. I don't think it's going to be that hard. Well, it's time. I think it's time to find a leaving song. What's it gonna be tonight? It was a fun night, very productive night, work night. We goof off on the weekdays. Saturday night's serious business. We got a lot done tonight. Very productive night. Not sure I found the folky version of You and Me, Babe yet. Still wanna figure that one out. last version wasn't bad before we got on with Bill there. That exploration was cut a little short, probably much to the delight of the viewers. God, he's going to try to sing the same song in a different key now? What's this show? Oh my goodness, Bending Spoons. How in the world would I remember that? I know the lyrics are on the website. The chords are a little tricky, but Bending Spoons. Whoa, why is that song there? This is alphabetical order, you fool. Here we are. Bending Spoons. Found it. Oh, goodness. How does that song go? Yes, Rosie. I'm a night owl. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I had no idea for tomorrow to come so soon. Been waging my war, singing my tunes, been turning heads, bending spoons. I think a cake is in order, something to celebrate, and maybe the death of one, perhaps the birth of two. Oh, to the twisted tongues, oh, to me and you. Wrong harmonica. You're in the wrong place, you little trick. Oh. See what I did. How about if we just start over again today, and then maybe my words will fit what I say in little brown hats leading the way. I think it's a perfect time for a bottle of wine and for spelling it out in black and white into the ashtray. Ease your mind. I don't remember it was a finger picker. Don't think the night isn't going to come today. Don't wager your breath on words you won't say, for even in death they'll have their way. I think we should play some music that old time way, old a lilt into joy, sigh the sighs of a wave. For what wilts when employed must twice be saved. I sort of found the lilt to the music there at the end. Oh, Randy's got a harmony almost on the chorus. So one more time from the top. The lyrics are on my website too, nathansland.com. Yeah, maybe we should take it one more from the top. I was just figuring it out myself. Good call, Swaby. See what you done? Yeah, never really sang this song very much but I wrote it right when I was making a record, so it went on the record, of course, because it was bouncing baby song. Like, oh, I wrote a song, let's put it on. And then I never really played it, and then I forgot how it went. But here we are. We've been doing this all week, getting these songs out of the shoebox from under the bed, out of the box in the attic, out of the cabinet by the root cellar. So they're all one by one going back into my pocket. I don't even know why that would be, because I still don't even plan on leaving the house after they lift the quarantine. But I'll have a lot of songs in my pockets. Right now they're all over the freaking floor here, though. We've made a real mess. And I gotta finish this task, or I'll never see my floor again. All right, here we go again from the top. I got the lyric page ready, and maybe we should record it and put it on the website immediately, and y'all can have your harmonies by tomorrow night. It is a work day. I know I should. Part of me wants to finger pick it like it was originally, and part of me doesn't. Is enjoying that version. Maybe I won't. But the finger picking definitely had the. Oh, it's a tough one. I had no idea for tomorrow to come so soon. Been waging my wars, singing my tunes, been turning heads, bending spoons. I think a cake is in order, something to celebrate, maybe the death of one, perhaps the birth of two. Oh, to the twisted tongues, oh, to me and you. How about if we just start over again today, and then maybe my words will fit what I say in little brown hats. Hey, lead the way. I think it's a perfect time for a bottle of wine and for spelling it out in black and white into the ashtray. Ease your mind. Night isn't going to come today. Don't wager your words. Wait, don't wager your breath, yeah, on things you won't say. For even in death, have their way. Hey, I think we should play some music that old time way, old a lilt into joy. Sigh the size of a wave, for what wilts when employed must twice be saved. Yeah, I think we should play some music that old time way, lilt into joy, sigh the size of a wave, for what wilts when employed must twice be saved. How do we do? One more time from the. I'm just kidding. Is that the leaving song? Hard to tell. Still want to figure out a troubadour version of You and Me, Babe. I haven't done Midnight in Ferguson since this whole thing started. That's in a folder by the wine rack. Yeah, that. I wonder if that's on the website. Oh my God, let me scroll down to the M's. I'm on the D's. This is silly. I'm on the E's. Wait, let me see if I can. Oh my God, the scroll bar is so stupid in Chrome. Can't even grab you. Just let me grab you. Still voting for Summertime Bank. Summertime Bank could definitely probably cleanse the palate after I butcher Midnight in Ferguson. We'll practice it now when no one's watching, so if I get a big set coming up soon, play on someone else's wall, do a show, I'll be ready. Got my hour. Working on my hour here. This hour's going to slay the world. Oh my God, I'm in the J's. Jeez Louise. Bending Spoons is the one we just did twice, if that's the one. All right, I'm in the M's. Mardi Gras, maybe someday. The Meantime. Oh, Gonzo. I'll get it. There it is. Why do we need such awful noise? Overnight, please tell me, boys. Meet the Man. Midnight in Ferguson. Look at that. Is it midnight yet in Ferguson? These days get hotter when the evening comes, and I just might get to see the morning sun if I don't wind up in room 101. Now we'll never know what it might have been like, and we'll disagree on what came. Shit, this is the part. But once I get it, I got it. We'll never know what it might have been like. Oh, what it might have been like. Never know what it might have been like. We'll disagree. Like we'll disagree on what came first. Like chicken in the egg, chicken in the egg, chicken in the egg, chicken in the egg in the diner all night. Gonna have to give a bit better, cause it's gonna get worse. That's tricky. Right, for those at home, I know I always hide this. I can't even see myself right now reading the words, but that should be in view. You'll never know what it might have been like. You'll disagree with what came first, like the chicken in the chat. Is that what? You'll never know what it might have been like, and you'll disagree with what came first, like the chicken and the egg in the diner all night. When I had to bet it. No, that's not it. You'll never know what it might have been like, and you'll disagree with what came first. Agree with what came first. Chicken in the in the diner all night. Egg in the diner all night. Gonna have to get better, cause it's gonna get worse. And I know what it might have been like. If there's a deal, what came first? Like the chicken and the egg in the diner. Egg in the diner all night. Egg in the diner all night. Gonna have to get better, cause it's gonna get... Alright, something like that. Told you, we're ready. We're getting ready for the show. Is it midnight yet in Ferguson? These days get hotter when the evening comes, and I just might get to see the morning sun if I don't wind up in room 101. And we'll never know what it might have been like, and we'll disagree on what came first, like the chicken and the egg in the diner all night. Gonna have to get better, cause it's gonna get worse. Is it midnight yet in Ferguson? Men with guns, those who loot. This is our fight, yeah, we're the peaceful ones. Our hands are up, don't shoot. And we'll never know what it might have been like, and we'll disagree on what came first, like the chicken and the egg in the diner all night. Gonna have to get better, cause we'll never know what it might have been like, and we'll disagree with what came first, like the chicken and the egg in the diner all night. Gonna have to get better, cause it's gonna get worse. All right. It's on the floor right here, right by my chair. Almost in my pocket. If we sing it again tomorrow, that's almost in my pocket. 2 more times it'll be in my pocket for a while. Maybe a year. Yeah, well, it was good to see you, Joseph. Yep, still up to our old tricks. Wait to hear the music we're making this time around. Some good stuff. Some good stuff. Wow, good request. Thanks for doing that. What was I feel like there was another... Oh, right, Lindsay's. Wait till y'all hear the bowls that Lindsay sent in that we used in Come Over last night. Such a pretty part now. Yeah, I bounced the mix last night just sounded so good to me in my headphones, and everybody was sort of reacting to where it seemed like they were hearing what I was hearing. So I put that mix on the website immediately. No matter what, even if it's the final mix will be way different than that, but I don't even know if that's a good mix to play to because it feels so full. Still something could happen even on that mix in the solo section, but that's almost like a mix. It sounds so good. Won't you, come on, chicky chick. Won't you, come on, chickadee, sing me that song. Oh, river, 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 roll on. I'm sleeping in the sun on a summertime bank. Stone skip 49 times, then sang. I'm learning how to whistle, saying my thanks to the rolling hills of home. Starry, starry, starry night, bullfrog croaking to its own delight. I wish I may, I think I might, sleeping in the moon on a summertime bank. I had a masterpiece dream, now I'm drawing a blank. Maybe that's it. I cupped the water and drank to the rolling hills of my home. Time flies and fireflies when you're having fun. My line is in the water and I'm sleeping in the sun on a summertime bank. I'm in heaven, I think. Try to whistle, sun sank to the rolling hills of home. Good call, Lindsay. That's a new game show. You did it. You picked the leaving song. What an abstract game show that is, though. But good job. You win. Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner. Oh, I know, Brock. That's awesome. I love it. Hey, thanks for tuning in tonight. We got a lot of work done. Very proud of us. And if you're just tuning in, we had a good conversation with my buddy Bill. We uploaded a new song onto the website, nathansland.com, for people to download and play along to and send me your part. And we were in there mixing, and I saw an amazing good friend that's an amazing engineer signed into the chat. So I was like, hey, why don't you just call on in, let's get your face on this screen and talk about delay for a second, because we were just putting delay on the vocal on this used to be a Ramblin' Man track that y'all can grab. And I love that guy. Haven't seen him in a while. He's a natural at this. He's wonderful to talk with. He's a passionate man and loves music very much and spent a lot of time making records. And he's from Texas, so he puts everything in in wonderful verbiage. It's a lot. So many of his isms. When I used to work with him a lot, I wish I'd taken better notes, because I'd have one of the best bathroom books of all time of just witticisms. Witticisms. No, Confucius say the pig contributes. No, the chicken contributes. That's what it is. Confucius say, the chicken contributes, the pig commits. Now get in there and sing that vocal. You got this. All right, I'll see you guys sometime tomorrow, I imagine. One way or another, we'll be together.